What's up, guys? Welcome to the Macho Libre podcast, episode 1. Woo! The most badass podcast in Bahrain at the moment. Very alpha male. I want to introduce you to my co-host, Mo Fahad.
What's up, guys?
And our special guests, Mo and Z.
What's up?
Thank you.
Thanks
very
for
much.
joining, guys.
Thanks a lot. Thank you for letting us in.
All right.
Thank you for the
We have a
invitation.
lot of topics here to go through. I think I want Mo to kick it off with the first topic.
All right.
We were talking about TikTok and China and all of this stuff,
And
but I
Kung
want
Fu
you
and
to go.
stuff.
Like, this is not your typical podcast. Let's go.
Yeah. So, look, first thing, we're going to set the ground rules. There are no rules. This is uncensored, real talk. A lot of stuff is being said on the internet, and I think it's always fair that we start saying and expressing ourselves from over here, right in the big bad BH. So we want to start talking about society, masculinity, feminism, what's going on, and where this wave is going. And let's kick it off.
Mo, you're going controversial right from the first second, and I love it. I love it. By the way.
What do you want?
But let's go controversial today
Right.
to all of you guys.
Yeah.
So you know the World Cup's going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? So in Qatar, and you know the West, the media is
Right.
like, oh my God, like, how can they not let people wear rainbow flags and stuff? Right? That's what's going on in the news today, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that, by the way? Should they wear rainbow flags or should they not wear rainbow flags?
First of all, I want to say Qatar into Abtal. You guys held down the fort. Keep it up. The more they start throwing bricks at you, the more, you build that empire. You're doing great. Everyone is enjoying themselves down there, and we'll see you guys down there soon as well. So,
Yeah.
What do you think, Mo?
Absolutely. I definitely agree with Mo. And this is how they should respect the culture. And for sure, this is how we, as if we go to them, we should also respect their culture. So when they are in our culture, I really respect what Qatar did. No matter how the press tried to squeeze in and try to do, they're trying to say that Qatar is not up to the level of hosting the World Cup, but it turns out they did an amazing job, and I really love it.
Z?
Well, there was no doubt they will do an amazing job. But one of the most amazing things they've done, they've had this amazing mutual respect for everyone. And
Yeah.
that's where we'll be able to get everyone to be happy. Now, whether they liked or didn't like the fact having a rainbow or not, that they're trying to, someone somewhere, trying to market something
Exactly.
over a culture that
Exactly.
we're not fighting them, we're not against them, but don't force it on me. Simple. So
Do you know what, boys? I'm going to say two things here, okay? Which I think were interesting points that I heard that I totally agree with, right? So, the first point is when they're talking about human rights and slavery and all of that stuff, building the stadiums, right?
Yeah.
But the West doesn't talk about Apple and all these companies outsourcing slavery to China. Oh, we don't hire slaves,
Yep.
but we outsource to China in a slave nation to make cheap phones for everyone, right?
absolutely, yeah.
talking about human rights, and then, we have to look at everyone's track record, okay? Qatar didn't invade anyone, okay? And, what's going on. The real question is, who is trying to push this agenda of, look,
That's a good question.
Ev-
Mo. Who's
everyone.
trying to push it?
who's trying to push it and why? Look, anyone can do whatever they want. We're not here to tell, we're not thinking police here. We believe in freedom of thought, but
Yeah.
we also believe in mutual respect, and there are boundaries between everyone's different freedoms, and we do not want to create that separation, which is
Exactly.
what's going on when they're saying stuff like, you guys have to let us push our flags over here. I'm like, I don't get it. The whole point is we're coming here to watch football and enjoy the games.
That's the whole idea of freedom. Once you're free to do whatever you want, as long that you're not stopping my free personal space and personal freedom.
Yeah.
So if the freedom is about doing someone else's agenda, that's not freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't understand this. It's like freedom doesn't mean I follow your rules, right?
Correct.
It's like who's on the higher moral ground here? I mean, if you're talking, I'm sorry to say this, but if you're talking about the West, where it's like they push wars in Iraq, they kill thousands and millions of people, and now they're arguing about freedom. What do you think about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, look at it this way. When we go to either like Japan or Spain or France or Brazil for the World Cup, we don't go there and be like, hey guys, we have to like bring our Islamic flags and we gotta like flaunt it all around and you guys have to accept it and
Bring my ISIS flags here.
and don't, and you know, and you guys have to not drink and whatever. When we have an Arabic saying, Ya gharib kun adib, okay?
Exactly.
So when we come to a people's culture, we respect their culture and we abide by the rules, and of course to each their own within those rules. You know what I'm saying? But I don't get why on the flip side, you're coming to Qatar, okay? And it's like, no, you have to, we have to impose our rules, we have to impose our thoughts. And look, I think the World Cup has been the safest World Cup. People are sober, actually enjoying the game, no fights, no women being harassed by drunk people. Everyone's enjoying themselves. And, you know, that's what it's really supposed to be all about, you know?
You know, that's an interesting point because the whole no alcohol thing, right?
Yeah.
I was watching stuff like podcasts and stuff in the West.
Right.
And they think Qatar has no alcohol. Qatar has alcohol, by the way, in hotels, like in private zones. They're just saying don't drink in the stadium in the World Cup because they don't want fights. They don't want problems. And why would anyone want fights and problems? Have you ever seen the hooligans in England and like the Turkish and they go crazy and they start stabbing each other and stuff? Qatar doesn't need that.
Exactly.
A population of 300,000 people. Like they want to take care of everyone.
And
Exactly,
it's a small
yeah.
place, you know.
It is.
I think they did a good job, you know.
It's an amazing job. Having said that, they literally said, I have seen that on the news, that, you know, they're located at designation areas for alcohol. But then what they're trying to say is to turn the table around, saying that they don't serve alcohol, which is quite the opposite. And of course, it's an Arabic Islamic culture. They should respect it. Having said that, something interesting came up, which was an interesting, and I have seen it in one of the big shows, American big shows, and they were like, you know what, in England, they were doing some kind of illegal thing. Not illegal, I would say. They were taking Bangladeshi employees, paying them 21 pence for their jersey, where they will sell it for around 130 pounds. And can you imagine that itself? Where's the human rights that they're trying to say, you know?
You should ask the English who built the railways, who built the underground. I mean, that is a question. I'm not going to go deep into it, but like seriously, who built the underground, right?
Yeah.
And how did this immigration stuff start flowing anyway? So I just think it's a double standard. It's a hypocrisy. I don't appreciate hypocrisy. It's like I accept you telling me what we're doing is wrong if you are such a good person on a high moral ground.
Yeah.
I think in England, if you go back to the Saddam Hussein days, right, when they were in America, had 9/11, so they said, you know how we're gonna, and they're accusing who? Saudi at that time. So that, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna bomb Iraq. You're charging Iraqis for a Saudi thing. I'm not saying Saddam is a good guy, but I'm saying what was that? There was a mismatch there. It's like you're doing what you do. Why are you imposing this on us? Which brings me on to my next point.
Yeah.
Elon Musk, Twitter.
Okay. That's a whole other can of worms.
As you guys know, no, because it all happened at the same time, right? So Elon Musk buys Twitter, $44 billion or whatever. But what Elon Musk is anti-woke, right? meaning he's about freedom of speech.
Exactly.
Bring everyone on the platform. He said, if the second side can't have a conversation, then how are you going to defend either side of a conversation? Let everyone say what they want, right? And then let it be a fair system. And what happened? Today, what happened? Today, Apple is threatening to take Twitter off the App Store. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I heard something about that.
Sure.
Like,
Why?
Well, clearly there's a hidden agenda we have no idea about. We can't. See, I don't usually believe any news I hear that's a real fact.
Yeah.
There is a hidden agenda somewhere, serving someone somewhere else, and they put it in this format, as if Apple is threatening to remove Twitter.
Yeah.
I think he's done an amazing job.
By the way, they have the highest usage ever now in Twitter. Twitter now has the highest users, the highest traffic compared to when Twitter was Twitter and they were making zero money, but taking shareholders' money. You know what I mean? They're taking their money, but they're not giving any profits back.
are they gonna charge them right now for that $8 a month or
The
something?
$8 is to get verified, right?
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's to have the tick, but you also have no ads and you have other advantages.
Okay.
Because, listen, Elon Musk's a businessman.
It is.
You're going to make money, bro. You can't be running an app for free.
Yeah.
You're a startup guy, Mo.
Yeah.
Are you going to run your app for free?
Well, look, there's nothing that's free. Okay, you're always adding value, and I think Elon is a genius. Okay, instead of starting from scratch, he started with 400 million users. So, and he wants to build this super app, right? And there's going to be a lot of different campaigns that he's going to start. So. I wish him all the best with that. I think he's. I haven't followed up with what he's on about at the moment, but he's definitely going to come up with something.
Do you know what, guys? So I know you're going to say something, Mo, but just before you do that,
Yeah.
I want to say one thing. Because I've been following up very closely with this
Right.
Twitter and Elon, right? And he sent this funniest Twitter picture, which he's like, look what I found in the cupboards in Twitter's headquarters. T-shirt saying #stay woke.
So that was like an employee's.
No, that's what they were distributing at Twitter. And he said, you know what, guys? Give it 1 week or 2 weeks. You're going to find something interesting. He's going to say, I'm going to publish exactly why Twitter censored certain people.
Oh.
And the policies in Twitter. That is going to break the internet for sure.
Did that happen before the Apple thing, or that happened?
No, this is literally these days. Like, bro, he doesn't care. He's on a battle.
definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Since you mentioned he is in a battle, that the first battle I've heard from my end, it was when he laid off about 50% of the employees.
Yeah.
And then the surprising fact that I was shocked with, he's literally the first one to bring Andrew Tate back on stage. It was a very controversial. So again, this guy is an interesting guy, but then you never expect what he will do next.
You bring up a great topic, Andrew Tate. All right, I'll tell you the funniest thing about bringing Andrew Tate back.
Let's actually. I want to
Just on the Twitter thing, and then you can. I'm not talking about Andrew Tate. I'm just the Twitter side.
Yeah.
Andrew Tate, for the last 7 years, has only ever had between 50 to 70,000 followers on Twitter. Do you know how many followers he has in 2 days now? 2.3 million.
Holy crap.
In 2 days. He's crushing it.
thanks to the ban and all that, you know. But what we want to touch upon right now is woke culture.
Woke culture.
So
What is woke culture?
exactly? Let's go around. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
What do you guys understand when they say, okay, you got to be woke? You know, #be woke.
Be woke. Stay woke. What does that mean?
What does that mean? Do you have an idea?
I don't have.
If you don't have an idea, that's cool. Mohammed.
I believe it's something that either do or die, or do or get die trying do it. Otherwise, he wouldn't be in that place. So I'm sure that he's gonna put some really goals for the employees and things. Again, if I relate your question with what he just did, nobody would believe.
Muhammad, we're asking about being woke.
What does
when
that
they say
mean?
woke culture, I mean, like.
Because there's a lot
it's
of guys.
been-
There's a lot of guys in the Middle East might not know what woke means, Mo.
Yeah,
You can
everyone's been like,
explain.
stay woke, and
Yeah,
so,
be woke, stay woke.
Yeah. But what is woke? Do you have any idea?
No, not really.
I wonder if there's a Google definition. Whilst you
Okay.
go ahead,
Yeah.
you go ahead.
So, look, I mean, woke is a label that they're labeling a society, okay, or a group of people, a community that all believe in the same things. And of course, it's very left. And the whole point is that you have freedom of thought. I don't see, and they can't claim freedom of thought, but they want to be free. They want they believe in things that I mean. How I got introduced to woke culture, the first time I heard it, I got into meditation and I read the book The Power of Now. You guys heard of it?
No, not really.
Eckhart Tolle and stuff. So, and the more I got into that meditation and then trying to figure out like how to meditate, how to disconnect, how to understand yourself. And then I realized that there's a lot of like hidden, it's like there's a lot of truth, but
Right.
then it's mixed with lies. And that's what confuses people, okay? Because that's how you do it. It's like, oh, that's true, that's true, that's true. That must be true as well, But like when I read The Secret, okay? I don't believe that. I know there is some truth to it. There is
You
some
think it's
structure.
placebo?
I mean, there's a science, okay, but then there's that I'm gonna sit down here and chant in the middle of the night or whenever,
I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be rich.
and then and you're gonna like suddenly
Get
be
rich.
rich. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I think they're just trying to fool people. And they're working with people's desperation because everyone's going through problems, everyone's looking for a way out, everyone's looking for hope. That's why a lot of people escape to video.
Mo, can I give the Google definition of what woke means?
Please.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right, just so
Well,
everyone
that's-
knows,
that's a
okay?
good base.
And I don't believe that definition. I think the Urban Dictionary would probably be better for this.
Okay.
But the official definition is alert to injustice in society, especially racism. It's like you wake up. Now, that is an interesting definition
Yeah.
because now let's say that is the definition of woke, right? In a dictionary sense. But in a political sense, in a society sense, they use the word woke or woke culture means you should be tolerant of everything, right? You believe the sky should be red. Well, I can't be racist to you and say sky is blue. Do you know what I mean? Like, otherwise I'm anti-woke.
What's the logical?
You can be whatever you want.
What's the logical reference in the word woke itself?
Woke means
Awake.
you woke
Awaken.
up. You woke up.
You woke up.
You woke
from
up
your-
to injustice.
From a deep sleep.
Yeah, you were in a deep
you're moving
sleep,
from,
like you
you're
just
moving
woke
from
up.
a state of unconsciousness, and now you're
Yeah.
finally you arrived to you're conscious
but the problem-
of what's happening, and basically it's the matrix within the matrix. It's actually taking you deeper into the matrix.
Culture.
Makes sense, yeah.
So I could come up and say, listen, I believe I'm a unicorn. And you say, no, you're not a unicorn. I said, no, you're racist. That's woke culture.
Yeah.
Accept everything,
So that's-
believe in nothing.
Yeah, so
So you can really use it
So woke
for the
culture
matrix.
gave birth to
Yeah.
cancel culture, basically. So if you're not
Do you know what cancel culture is?
No, not really.
if you're not with us,
If you're not woke, you're cancelled.
you're canceled, basically. But the thing is, what is woke? And look, we have to understand that not everything that woke culture stands for is wrong. Okay?
That is true.
A lot of what woke culture stands for, we do too. Like, you stand against injustice. Okay?
Like Black Lives Matter. Don't be racist to black people.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
like,
these are things we can all agree on.
Yeah, but you can say that to the black people in Africa. Don't be racist to white people. It's the racism itself that it's wrong.
Exactly. So, but when they combine it into the work, but okay, in today's world, what work really means is standing up for injustice. Okay, but what the way they're using it
Yeah.
is literally to stand up for things that. Okay, I mean, it's hard to say, but like most of us don't believe in the stuff they stand for, right? It's like, khalas, now, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to be, everyone has to accept. And this is an important point. I think this is the point we're trying to get to. It's like, we don't have a problem with you believing whatever you believe, right? Whether it's a religion, whether it's culture, whether it's race, whether it's sex, you can believe anything you want to believe. And I'm okay with that. But the moment you use a politicized movement to make me believe or force me to accept or agree or bring my kids to believe that, now I have a problem. Does that make sense?
Correct.
Makes a lot
Which
of
is
sense.
takes us back to the first things we talked about at the beginning about the rainbow colors, using them in Qatar. It's
Exactly.
exactly the same issue.
Exactly that. So I have kids, right? You guys have kids?
Yep.
Yes.
not that I know.
How old
of.
are your kids, Z?
Eldest is 21.
All right. So imagine when your kids were young and they were in school. Because this happened in the UK, by the way. So I'll give you an actual example, right? So
Okay.
in the UK, for a while, in school, they're like, hey, this guy can have two fathers, that guy can have two mothers, and you're teaching them about homosexuality, which, by the way, it's not even about homosexuality. Don't teach them anything sexuality like at a young age when you're 10 years old, right? You don't
Yeah,
need to
yeah.
learn that stuff, right? And when you're forcing that education on children who are yet to grow up and learn and find out for themselves, how is it? Here's a question. Okay, I have a great question.
No,
Wait. I have one question for you, Mo. I have a great question for you.
As long as we're going to stay into the sex ed talk.
All right, but I have a great question.
Okay.
How is it okay that we can teach our kids about homosexuality, but we can't teach them about how to do their taxes? In an education. Isn't that what school is for?
Yeah, but you do learn how to do your taxes. if
Not
you
in
take the
school.
course.
Not in school. Not in the education
Not
system.
in a very early stage.
Yeah.
You learn that when you graduate, when you go through
Correct.
life.
Yes,
you know what
correct.
I mean? I'm saying
Yeah.
you can't teach them entrepreneurship, but you can teach them that.
Yeah.
How does that make sense?
But that's a different agenda. But that's changing. Okay. I know the UN is pushing that. I know a lot of people are pushing entrepreneurship from a younger age. But I never learned sex ed in high school. Okay. I mean, I learned that by myself. And I turned out
street taught.
Theoretically or practically?
I learned that on the
You were
street.
taught by the streets.
Okay. And I turned out just fine. So what I'm saying is, if like in a Muslim country, okay, you got to learn maybe Islam. If you're Muslim, if you're not, you have the option
To not.
not to take that course. Okay. Now that when it comes to sex ed, okay, the parents and the kids should get that option if they want to learn this kind of sexual education or not. That would be fair, but to impose it and say, no, you're learning this, so you have to learn
that's
this.
what
That means
culture-
you're saying that if you're learning this religion, then you have to learn all the religions, but you can actually keep it as optional electives. And who wants to learn it can learn it. And I can assure you, 99% will not, other than the parents the two fathers of that kid, or that the two mothers of that poor girl, that are gonna basically put them in that in those classes. You
I
know what
100% agree. And I'm saying if it's an elective, I have no problem. But when you're forcing everyone to do it, this is a problem. And that's why, interestingly enough, there was massive protests against this. But who was protesting? It's the Muslim parents,
You were talking.
right?
You're talking in the States, right?
No, in the UK, in the UK.
That was happening.
Yeah, it's
in
the
UK,
UK.
too, huh?
And it was the Muslim parents who like, I don't want my kids to learn this stuff. Listen, when I was a kid, I grew up in Australia, right? Now, I used to have family friends who were very religious, right? And they're like, we don't want our kids to learn music, as an example. For them, it's haram, whatever, right? I'm not against music, but I'm saying they were. Cool.
Okay.
But you have to, it's compulsory to learn music, right? So then my father, he wrote a letter to the minister, and my father's very good with these things, right? And said, listen, our kids, our community, this is against our beliefs and our religion, whatever, right? We want to have an option to not learn music, right? Because for us, it's haram. So then he got approval. The ministry gave an approval for our local sheikh, who my father appointed.
This is in the UK, yeah.
In Australia.
In Australia.
Australia.
If the sheikh gives you a letter, then your child does not need to go to music class. Now that is fair, right? But to force everyone is where the problem with woke culture is that they're forcing everyone to believe everything they're saying.
See, the thing is, woke culture is preaching freedom, but it's not setting the example of freedom.
Yeah,
Because-
but it's sending its own agenda.
Yeah, because see, let's talk about freedom. What is freedom? Okay? I have a very clear definition to what freedom is. But before I go there, maybe I'll ask you guys to give your definitions of what you think freedom is. You want to start?
I'll tell you the most interesting thing about freedom that I was listening to today with Will Smith on Trevor Noah's show about his new movie about slaves, right?
Yeah.
And he said, we are free because they allow us to have a house. They allow us to have a business. He said, if you're allowed to do it, does that make you free? I was like, man, that's crazy. If I need their permission,
Yeah.
then am I truly free?
Yeah. And the question is, whose permission is it?
That's it.
Yeah.
Like the system, the matrix, the government.
Yeah.
If they give me the permission, does that mean I'm free?
No.
No, I gave you the permission.
Yeah. Well,
So there's no freedom there.
I
Yeah.
mean,
That's not freedom.
I believe it's a little bit deeper than that. Okay, and we'll get there. Okay. Anyone else want to comment on what freedom is?
Perhaps I would definitely agree with you. It's like my way or on the highway, but in in different direction. And what's actually it means for me, the way I
Yeah.
see it is that just like the statement came out from the CEO when he been kicked out or have been laid off from his job, and his statement itself, it's controversial because he said like, we did this because Twitter was growing so fast that it cannot handle the cost of it. And I find it is, as Zeej mentioned in the beginning of this podcast, that you were saying that it's not the real thing where they want to try to impose to us. And as you mentioned, it's like the way of their influencing the things, and I don't really agree with that. As Hussain as well mentioned, if they did such a thing in a school for a youngster, for sure they will influence some of them to think the other way around. And so I definitely disagree with them, and you never know what's going to happen. And as you mentioned, it's the matrix of the matrix.
Yeah.
Now they argue whether they allow kids to cut their dicks off at 9 years old and let him choose if he's going to be a boy or girl. Why would a 9-year-old make that decision?
Yeah, but he can't drive a car.
He can't have a drink. Can't have a cigarette.
But he can do.
He can cut his dick off, but he can't have a cigarette.
Well, see, this is the very concept of freedom again. Someone, as you mentioned earlier, allowed us. My boss allowed me.
Yeah.
My wife allowed me.
And
My
you think that's
father
free?
allowed me. My mother allowed me. At the end of the day, it's all programming.
You're controlled to believe you're free.
So there are always limitations in our pre-programming. It happens from a society or direct family. So the real freedom is to have your soul internally has no limits of what you can achieve and do.
Love it. Love it.
That's where the freedom is.
Love it.
I agree, but
I'm
this,
sure Mo's got some killer definition that he's waiting to give us now.
No. Because what I wanted to do was show you guys that this is how woke culture got to where it is. Because when you have nothing to believe in, you can believe anything. Okay?
Love it.
No, you'll be scared. You'll agree with you. You'll be
The-
scared to believe.
if you believe in everything, you stand for nothing.
If you believe in everything or you believe in nothing, you can be completely controlled, and that's what the Matrix wants. So let me put it this way, okay? There's freedom, and freedom sits on a spectrum, okay? On the right side of freedom, it's completely restricted, okay?
Yeah.
It's like you have this bottle of water. You got the lid on. I turn it around, completely restricted. The water is useless. On the left side of the spectrum, it's complete, total freedom. And total freedom is, I open the lid, I pour this water onto a flat surface, and it just splatters all over, and it becomes completely useless. خير الأمور أوسطها. Okay? The best path is the middle way. Okay? Which is not, and it's beautiful. I met this artist in an Islamic center when I was living in the States, and he put it beautifully. He's like, you got to put, he's the one who actually told me this example, so it's great. It stayed with me. But if you put a straw in the water and you direct it, then you give that freedom direction. So yes, we do not total freedom and not no freedom, but you need to have freedom with guidance and direction. So when you're saying we allow just means that, look, you're not living in, this is not a me society. This is a we society, okay? We're all living here together. So if we're all living here together, then we have to find a way to live together and not take away from each other's freedom. So we need to put some ground rules, okay? And that's what we're trying to say, okay? That, yes, when we say we allow, it's like saying, don't turn on your phone when you're in the plane. It's not so who of you here like actually pulled out the phone before the plane landed?
My phone's always on.
Yeah?
And the plane never crashed.
Okay, fine.
I think it's the most bullshit rule that they ever have.
Maybe, okay.
Like that seatbelt. Is it going to save you if you crash? It's a little seatbelt. Bro, the plane's crashing from the ground.
Yeah, it's just so you don't bang your head.
Yeah, I know. It's not going to save your life, though.
So the point is that it's not one person, but it's if one person can do it,
Everyone should do it.
Everyone should do it. And we need to set a fair game for everyone, you know? We're all playing on the same leveled playing fields, you know? So
Here where many will come counter what you said by saying that's what religion is all about. The idea of religion, well, at least the meaning of religion in the Arabic word is a guidance and discipline. The thing is here, we don't want to go into the depth of different views of religion. There's a lot of views been going on for the past if you talk about Islam, the past 1,400 years, a lot of views been going on. But the very basic concept is guidance and discipline. And the last statement of the Prophet that he mentioned, he did not say, I want you to guys pray and do all these things. No. He wanted us to absolutely take care of, respect women.
All right, Z. I think you bring up women. What was your point?
Yeah, we were just saying that one of the biggest things that we learned when we mentioned religion, that our religion is all about ethics and taking care of the woman. And what it's meant, what the Prophet said, last word he had, is to take care of your delicates, in terms of the delicate souls, which is the woman, of course. And when he mentioned in that way, a lot of people misunderstand religion today. They believe there are a lot of restrictions should be on the woman, while the example of high level of ethics should be the founder of the family, the father, the man. Us men are the example of the highest level of ethics and the example of being most good to women, regardless how great she was to me or not. Now, if we ever go in the teachings of Islam and the teachings of Prophet Muhammad about this, we should listen to the meaning of it, i.e. we don't listen to the instructions. For example, when they say الرجال قوامون على النساء,
Men are the providers for the women and the protectors.
See, there's no قوامون, there's no equivalent translation in English.
Yeah.
قوامون, you don't control her. She lives her life, she lives her character, but you are aligned around her into her protection and her soul comfortness.
Yep.
You are not the fixer of her. She's not something broken to be fixed, but you are aligned with her, because at the end, she's a soft soul. She's a soft being. Regardless of today they would think they want to be like men, they want to be equivalent and all that. With all respect, that rubbish movement that happens everywhere in the world.
The feminist work culture.
And we'll get to that.
She's a woman. We don't have to identify her as feminine. We know she's a woman. Khalas, done.
I love that.
We're good.
Did you see that documentary by Matt Walsh, What is a Woman?
No.
No? Are you serious?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. So there's this guy, cool guy, and very articulate, very well spoken, and he actually went around the States asking men, women, and of all
The other
different
99
beliefs,
genders.
what is a woman? And he couldn't get a straight answer, you know? And then he had to go to a little village in Africa to get that simple answer, which is women have a vagina. That's how you identify a woman. And a man has a penis, okay? So it's like, how can you identify a woman? She has a vagina, she's a woman. He has a penis, he's a man. That's it, okay? It's not like, I feel that she's a tree. You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't work that way. So
it's a gender classification.
it's a biological classification.
I love what Z was saying. The Islamic, because I think this is very important, by the way, for people watching. Because in the West, people think we oppress women. We force them to wear hijab. We force them to do this. We force them to... And it's not like that. So I love the way you're describing, even Islamically,
Yeah.
about the rights that we give women and the freedom they have, and
to add
how
on-
much we cherish and protect them.
To add on this topic, the laws in Europe. Let's talk about Europe alone, which is everywhere else, not only Europe. But let's take Europe for example, because I lived there. Only in the early 1900s, there was a what do you call it? A civil law was passed to prohibit getting married to a second wife. It's never been in the Christian religion or the Jewish religion any restrictions of the number of wives. It was always unlimited.
I didn't know that.
It's only Islam that made it 4,
Yeah,
as we understand.
that's
No.
that's a misconception that you can marry up to 4, but it's actually the other way around.
No,
Islam restricted it.
Restricted it to only
People
4.
used to marry more.
And one of the
That
proofs,
is mind-blowing. You know, I never knew that.
you know, one of the proofs, I have 2 proofs to tell you, which is stories of what I know, but you can double check it too. Mormons in the US, how many they can marry? Unlimited. They have a 13, 14, 15 wives. There was this case in the 80s about this Mormon man who was married to 13 wives.
What is a Mormon man, by the way?
Christianity.
It's a sect.
It's a sect.
They're
It's a
Mormons.
type of
Mormons. Do they have?
Mormons.
Mormons,
Okay.
Yeah. Do they have a membership card? Okay.
I'm already a member. Don't worry.
Well, what's the second proof?
Huh?
You said 2 things, right?
Right.
What's the second thing?
The second thing, the current Pope, he's German, right?
I'm not sure.
I think he's German.
I think so, yeah.
When he first took house, he passed a new bill in the Vatican that there is no proof in the Bible that we are restricted to more than one wife.
Wow. And he
instead
said
of,
this?
Yes, and instead of so many fornication happening, and every man has 3, 4, 5 girlfriends apart from his wife, and there's no clear, mind you, in Christianity itself, there's no real clear divorce process. There's no divorce process. Some countries, if you want to have a church divorce, it takes you 10 years.
Wow.
Okay, this is what I know from some of my Christian friends.
No,
Some
it
information.
depends. If it depends on the sect. So if you're Catholic, it's different. If you're Orthodox,
Absolutely
You know?
correct. I agree with you. Now, this Pope, he wanted to pass a bill to regulate how many marriages you can have. If you can afford it and have the health, why wouldn't you? If you do the statistics and do the general numbers, how many men and how many women on earth today, in this 7 billion that we have, you will find out, literally, we've got more ladies than we have men to marry and be with.
look, the
And what I mean by
probability.
marry, not only the normal marriage in our Islamic concept. I'm talking about having a woman, you take care of her and she's your partner. You can have 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And there is a mechanism how this life can be better. And if you've noticed, many relationships, when women find out her husband has another woman, as long that he's her husband and he's coming back to her at night and taking care of her and the kids, she doesn't care who else he's with. So this new agenda that coming us from some places in the West, and mind you, only the West, some places in Asia doesn't have that.
Let's define the West. When we say the West, because people are like, what do you mean by the West?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay,
let me give you a quick
Go ahead.
background,
Yeah.
okay, a history lesson on the West. The West started as Rome, okay, and then it became Europe, okay, and then the colonialism that, so the West is Europe, the States, and Australia, everywhere that
Yes, I agree.
the colonialists have gone to is considered the West. So it's not actually a direction, okay? It's actually a people that have spread a school of thought, you know?
Absolutely, yes.
So that is the West, okay? So continue.
Actually, it's great you define it like that because it makes it easier for the listener to understand what we're talking about instead of being just with
Yeah.
the West, with the Western hemisphere.
And let me just add one point, if you don't mind. So, the schism that happened in what we call Western culture is because in the West there was a war between church and state. They wanted to separate church and state. Okay, so that's where you got people that are like, no, everything about religion we want out, and we believe in science. And basically, when you take out a lot of history and you start from zero, then you take out a lot of you're reinventing the wheel. Okay, you're going through a lot of new trial and error, and I'm not saying that's bad, starting with the beginner's mind. Okay, but I'm saying you're taking away the foundation that was there, and religion and how the world can be understood, and why, and the why. The important thing is the why. Why are we here? Has been put to the side, and it's like now we have to create our own understanding of the why, and everything is random. Okay, and that started what we call the confusion, and then giving all these different let's say ideas that start coming out, like we need feminism. Okay, we need women empowerment, like women were not empowered before. That movement. So we'll get into that, but let's continue your thought, and then I'll go deeper into this.
No, it's in alliance to what you just mentioned. If we take that little part where it says feminism and woman power, first of all, women doesn't need to get power to be recognized. In our culture, in our religion, they already have the respect.
Love that.
My mother and my grandmother, my greatest auntie, I swear to God, she has so much power in our family. She's like a godfather. She is powerful. Her word states.
Can I add one thing to that?
Please.
That I noticed, like just for the normal people listening, the difference between, let's say, what you said, the West, and let's say the East. I wouldn't even say Islamic. I would say the East, right? Because, we have similar cultures, by the way, in the East. Even though we have different religions, we have similar beliefs and cultures and values. It's like I hate to go back to Andrew Tate on this, where he became Muslim, and he's like, if you go to the West and you say, screw Jesus, no one says anything.
Yeah.
But you say, screw Prophet Muhammad, everyone will kill, all the Muslims will kill you. Like, they'll make a big deal.
Dude, I was watching South Park.
But let me just finish this point.
And they used to say that in South Park and in Family Guy. And I just used to turn that stuff off.
No, but can I just finish this point? Because it's really important to what you were saying. That in our culture, do you know what is the biggest swear or insult you can give someone? Say something about his mother.
Yes.
He'll kill you.
It's true.
We protect our women.
Or any
like
woman.
like in the West, like, I'm sorry you can bleep this if you want, but when we say motherfucker is like such a normal word, say that to an Eastern person. Say your mother. Don't even put a curse word.
Exactly.
He'll kill you.
Exactly.
He protects his mother.
Yeah, it
his
comes from the
mother.
protection of the mother. Absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Adding up to that, the new cultures up to, say, 10,000 years ago, all the recent book religions, they came since Prophet Abraham. Okay, till now. That's about 6,000 to 7,000 years, almost, give and take. Around 10,000 years, there was Sanskrit. Now, we don't know any of their prophets for today. I have not read anything about that as much as I remember. But I know, I've heard some of these spiritual guiders talking about that at those days, they've had a separate name for the man's private part and for the woman's private part, where they call for the man the العمود المقدس, the holy
Grail?
grail, but not the same grail as Christianity. It's not the same concept.
Okay.
Okay, and the woman is the holy house.
The holy
Holy house.
house.
Okay, now it is the naming convention. It is so holy, it's not even part of an insult. But today, we reached the level, and there were reasons why. We reached the levels that we inherited different changes and mutations in the languages. This language mutation helped into destroying the very meaning of the thing itself. Going back again to the sexual education for kids. Because we gave them the wrong name. We need to explain those names the proper way for them and how much they represent. And it's not a bad thing, for example, for a child to touch it, but you need to respect it. You know, we don't have that. That's the main. That's if you mix all the topics we've had together, they all come back into similar roots. We are not using the right namings. The Sanskrits have a great explanation, very spiritual. They still, that's why today they still carry a lot of spiritual people. They go back reading about them, taking the yoga from them. Okay, and some people, unfortunately, they believe that's a religion. It's not a religion. It's a way of life.
Yeah, but what is religion is a way of life. So when you say religion, it's your way of life. This is my religion. This is how I see.
That's exactly
and
that's
how
the exact
I
meaning
act.
of it. Yeah.
You know,
Of
even
life.
people with no religion have a religion. It's like, you know, if you say you're atheist, that is your
That is a
religion.
Yes.
That is your way of life.
See,
Yeah.
a religion is a method of where you can.
It's rules. It's rules to live
discipline
by.
your life. How are you
Yes,
disciplined in
disciplines
your
and
life?
rules to live.
My discipline in life is Islam.
Yeah.
My discipline in life is Christianity. Is
That's
what
it.
are you following? It's
That's
your
simple.
discipline.
See that goes back to freedom and why total freedom doesn't work, and you need to regulate it. So all of these
No, you
ways
can't-
of life are actually regulatory measures.
This is a very long, endless debate. Once you regulate freedom, it's not freedom anymore. Now, because we have nature, our nature is built in a way that regulates us. What affects on our nature is the interference of different type of
The
disciplines.
nurture. Which is the nurture.
Thank you.
And see, this comes down to the issue of why. Let's talk about like the world. The world, how does it continue? It continues because of reproduction. Okay, so
There's a new theory I've been watching recently that the world stopped in 2012 and we are living another matrix right now.
yeah, it's part of the multiverse.
Now you can go ahead.
Matrix within the matrix.
I'm
Let's go.
sure Elon can comment on that. So the world continues because we reproduce. Okay? So if we stop reproducing, then the world stops. Do we agree?
Absolutely.
So that means anything that goes against the continuation of our species is against our nature. Okay, going after your pleasures and your desires is something, but if we go to the basic simplicity of why we are here to continue our species of the human race. So how do we do that? There are two
Surrogates. That's what they would say. That's what the woke culture comes with.
Okay.
By the way,
What do you mean surrogates?
all
Can
right,
you just
so,
explain that?
so there's a gay
Correct.
couple. Fact in BBC. I was listening to this. Guy.
They bring a surrogate mom.
He uses his mother as a surrogate
Surrogate womb, sorry. Surrogate
woman.
Yeah.
So the mother is now delivering the child for these two.
So they're like,
Shit.
Yeah, see,
so they're like
Things
farming.
like this happen. I'm just telling you.
well,
like,
this is
a minority, obviously.
This is not even a minority. This is looking at it from a pure scientific point of view.
Just scientific. Everything's
But even
biological, scientific. Yeah.
scientifically, and from a DNA point
You still
of view,
need the woman.
you
It could be your mother, but you still
right.
need a woman.
guys, let me share you a little information that opened my mind. We had this issue once where I was helping. I was a part of a law firm once. And we had this case, we had to prove the lineage, bloodline for someone. So we went to the forensics in that country, to DNA forensics. And the DNA forensics, they were explaining to me, if a man and a woman ever got together and that woman carried one child, one pregnancy from that man,
Yeah.
she will carry his DNA in her system forever, all her life. Do you know that? That's why all these book religions never took divorce easily. Because the DNA of that man is in this woman
Forever.
for all her life. So the intention, the depth is beyond what people see as, oh, just get married or just have sex. No. It's way deeper than that. It went all the way to the DNA level. That's deep. Knowing a fact, scientific fact, from forensic specialists, to tell me something like that, I was shocked. Like, how?
Do you guys mind if I just make this a little bit more fun for now?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
For our general audience.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
3 men, 4 men sitting here. What do you look for in a wife?
See, I actually wanted to talk about this.
How do you classify, she's going to be my girlfriend? No, this is the one I want to marry. I think a lot of women want to know.
Look,
Well,
I think the mistake that's going on, or the confusion, is there are 2 different markets. The job market is completely looking for something else, and the marital market, and who you want to marry, and what is a valuable spouse, what is the value of your spouse based on if you're a man wanting a woman or a woman wanting a man. Okay? Let's just stop there with those 2. If based on the marriage market, okay, what a man looks for in a woman is completely different from what a woman looks for in a man. Okay, we don't look for the same things, and the job market is something else. Like,
What's
we
the
don't
job market, by the way?
So
I
when
don't
we say
understand.
like jobs and like women going after their careers and men going after their careers,
Okay, that's different. Okay, that's different.
So when basically women, if they want to progress in their careers and they become CEOs and entrepreneurs and all of that, that's great. But when it comes to the marital market or basically getting married, it's a whole complete different system. And this system is based on 2 people partnering up to create something called a family. Okay? So what a man looks for in a woman, okay, he looks at her past and he looks at, can she mother my kids? Of course, most families want to have kids, and those that don't, that's up to them. But the family unit, to become successful, is to bring children and to raise them to become responsible individuals in society. And a man doesn't look for a CEO or a woman that brings a lot of dough, you know. He doesn't care about that. Most men, most masculine men, okay?
Some
And-
like the OnlyFans money, no?
Yeah. A man doesn't look for security from a woman. Okay? A man is the provider, and this is the problem. This is the misconception. This is actually I had a woman text me 2 days ago, and she told me that she was forced after a year and a half of her kid's birth to get back to work. Women, I'm going to make this clear right now on the internet. Women, you don't have to work. You can work, but you don't have to work. But a man, you have to work. You have to know the difference. And
One is a choice.
One is a choice and one is not. Okay? The man's value is in his performance and in his providing for the family or for his, basically his family or his new family. And a woman, she is not valued based on how she provides. She's valued on how she takes care of her family, how she takes care of herself, how she becomes the holy house and takes care of their emotions, raises them. This is what we look for in a woman. We don't look for how much money she's got in her bank. Okay? So if you're out there thinking, why do men don't want me? Okay, maybe you're giving off the wrong signals. You guys have something to say about this?
I do actually. I want you to. I love where you're going with this. Can you explain the wrong signals?
Yeah, basically, women date someone that's of their equal status or upwards. Men, they date someone or want to marry someone of their equal status or that make less than them. Okay? And the point is, if a woman starts making, and now if you look at the statistics in colleges in the States, I don't have the real figures, but there's a lot more women that are getting educated. So if a woman that has a bachelor's degree will not look at a man that doesn't unless he has more status, more money or something. But he has to have more. So
women date up.
They date up.
And men don't care.
Men don't care how much you make.
Of course, so what do men care about? Is what that,
look at
that
Bill
was
Gates.
the
He's a college dropout.
But that was the question I was asking you. So
Yeah.
So we want a chaste woman. When we're talking about value, let's give another example of value. Would you rather buy a new car if you had the money? Okay, would you buy a Ferrari or a Toyota if you had all the money in the world? Would you buy a Ferrari or a Toyota, Muhammad?
Buy neither.
Okay, if you had both options.
I'll have both options. No, I'm gonna. For me, I'll rent me out a kick-ass Mercedes. Just
Okay.
rent. I won't even buy.
Yeah.
I won't buy.
but basically, you go with the Ferrari, obviously.
No. That says a lot about him, by the way.
He
wants to rent.
he knows what he wants. He's a man that knows what he wants.
Rent out a Mercedes.
But that is why it's an interest, because he knows what he wants. What do you look for in a woman? As a wife, not as a...
As a wife.
Yeah.
Well, there's no other options for a woman apart from a wife.
Okay.
All other formats of
Fair
a woman
enough.
is a transitional phase till she becomes your wife.
Fair enough.
Okay, trying to get to know her. I look for in a woman that I can go anywhere in the world, do any big, huge project that I want to do, and she is there next to me, giving me all the power in the universe just by seeing her and by talking to her. I don't want anything from her. I don't want her to come in. I don't want her to cook for me. I don't want her to do anything. I want her to help me to pick a restaurant. Yeah. But I need her to have a soul aligned with me that I don't have to cry from the inside when things go bad. Because she's there.
Yeah.
My heart is being taken care of. My soul is under management. I'm not worried. I can go face the world.
They
This
say
was
every
one-
great man has a great woman behind him, and every great woman has a great man behind her.
Absolutely. And that saying still debatable though. Sometimes
It's not. We said great woman. They didn't say great wife. Could be your mom. Could be.
exactly.
know what I
Some
mean?
men has achieved. Actually, there's a little story. I'm sure you all seen the movie. You all seen the movie Troy?
Yeah.
Now, Brad Pitt's mother in the movie, when he was Achilles, and he goes to his mom, he's taking her view. Should he go to that war or not? So what does a great mother says for her son? She goes to him, if you stay here, you'll find a good woman. You'll have kids. They will love you. I will love them. I will see you. But if you go to that war, that glorious war, your name will be recorded and registered in history.
Forever.
Yeah.
Now, this is a warlord. He did not have a wife. But his woman just gave him the biggest encouragement that he can go and not come back, but go and achieve. And look, his name is still in history.
Love it. Love that example.
See, that little example is a choice. Okay, that's his mom. And with all my respect to my mom is not like that. She doesn't want me to go anywhere. Okay, but so that's the wife that I would like to have. It's to give me this feeling. Not to go, no, I don't want to send you there. It's going to be bad. The weather is bad. Go. So what if it's raining? So what if there's a hurricane? So what if it's a volcano? Go. Achieve.
You're
I'm
the
with
man.
you.
You can do it. Do it. Go out
Love
there
it.
and conquer.
Love it.
Veni
Love it.
vidi
It's
vici.
this soul of or character and
Love
soul
it.
alliance
Love it.
that I would like to have.
Yeah. So
I would-
she's
wait, wait.
aligned with your vision.
I'd like to ask Mo as well.
No, that's really interesting because the way you all spoke about that, and this is really interesting because I have no idea whether you are married or no.
Are you married, Mo?
Yeah.
Okay. So what were you looking for?
Well, basically, as I would definitely agree with Z, someone who's really, take care of me, with their family. Somebody has the values, that, as you just mentioned, someone who's great, someone really back up of him and giving him the full support. But to be honest, if you go deep into our culture, into how these things works, now, there is two debates, and I'm sure you're gonna float if I had told her about that. Basically,
Would you marry a woman
Wait, let him
had
let him
30
continue.
that had
Let him
30
continue.
people in her past?
well, of course, this is again. If I would
Or
have to
would
ask-
you marry a
Let-
woman that had like no one before you? Which
Of
one would you
course.
prefer?
Of course, this is not questionable about that because again, I would choose the one which has no experience with that. If I just listen to what he said with the DNA thing, and imagine she would have like.
But go ahead with your two
Yeah.
things.
What I was saying is that in
She'll give birth to Megatron.
Speaking of this, there is a controversial debate when it's come to would you marry someone who you love, or would you marry someone
that you
As
trust.
we-
Selected.
like family selected, or you
Selected.
go to him that have
Introduced.
exactly. And I literally, even myself, I had never thought ever in my life I'm gonna be with someone that I don't know before, and that's exactly what happened. It was the opposite, because when you find your soul, or you find someone who have that characteristics of being with you and being supportive. Not a lot of men think that way. Some of them thinking of, oh, I need to get married with someone who's already working, and some of them they have this kind of criteria. Just to mention something really interesting, there are some men here in our culture they wouldn't
split the bill.
accept to marry a girl she working in hospitals or nursing.
Hospital. What's
Yes.
wrong with that?
Because they believe that since she's a nurse, she's gonna hold other patient with her bare hands.
so
and
ca-
By the way, I would never want to have a male nurse in my hospital. Like I would never send
I'm
my
like,
kids to a male babysitter. You know what I mean? Like there's certain roles. I'm sorry, it's not sexist. If I'm gonna hire a babysitter, I would want it to be a female. If I'm gonna get a nurse, I would want it to be a female.
look, when it
Because
comes
they're caregivers. No, because they have certain. That's what makes a woman a woman, right?
Yeah,
They
so
have
I'd
that
say
nurture,
They have
that,
the soul and the character.
that
for it.
soothing, taking
Imagine
care.
some of our men are thinking that way because this is for them. It is unacceptable. It's unethical. Though she's doing something
Amazing. She's
exactly,
helping people.
exactly. So imagine there are some people they're thinking that way. I can't marry a woman if
Because
she's
she's
a
dealing
nurse.
with men at work.
Exactly, exactly.
That's
Or she's-
ridiculous.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No,
So
you know it's ridiculous because you having this open view about it. They don't think it's ridiculous because it's them who have that belief. If he will see as a nurse, that's his own internal belief.
Because his mind is corrupt.
mind is corrupt.
mind is corrupt.
So he's
Because he's
general-
thinking, I'd like to sleep with a nurse. And he's thinking
Exactly.
every guy thinks like that, which is not the case.
And then
Not
again,
at all.
the
Yeah.
problem is not the culture. Again,
Yeah, by the way, you touch a very important point, okay? A lot of times, and this is slightly off topic, but on topic, a lot of times people have misconceptions based on their own beliefs. So, meaning, if I have ill intention about something, I think everyone has the same ill intention.
absolutely.
Right? There are times where it's valid, right? But there are times where, like the nursing example, that's not valid, right?
it's not.
But it's like he's just thinking something ridiculous, like, oh my God, you're gonna talk to men, you're gonna touch men and check them up or whatever, right?
yeah,
that's insecurity.
It's insecurity. And speaking of insecurity, it's a perfect segue now. I wanna make it even more interesting for you guys.
All right. For you guys.
For everyone, by the way, that's listening. So I'm sorry. I think men are territorial.
We have to be.
We're not necessarily insecure, but we are territorial. We are protective.
We should be.
What do you think?
That's part of masculinity.
What do you think of your wives or someone you want to be a wife? For example, modeling on Instagram.
Modeling where?
Modeling on Instagram. Would you marry that chick? Or if your wife was doing it, would you be okay with it?
Definitely not. See,
It's
Because you know today, well, it's a
Forget-
very relevant.
forget-
but it's a,
forget modeling.
We're talking about today.
no, I'm
No,
just
no,
saying.
no,
I'm
no.
just. I'm not.
Forget modeling.
When I say modeling, I don't mean like a model. I mean like taking
Modeling
pictures.
behavior.
No, just modeling behavior. Like like taking
Bloggers.
pictures, like
She's
posing
blogging on
whatever
Instagram.
for
Blogging.
everyone to see. Like, I'm sorry. Okay, this is a very important topic because this is today. This is the world we live in.
Absolutely correct.
yeah.
What do you think about that?
Me personally, it will be depending on her character.
Okay,
Some characters, she is outgoing,
sure.
very secure, very confident of herself, and you're not worried of you can leave her with 100 men around her. No one can get close to her because she's powerful from the inside.
yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Some characters are dodgy and hazy. You can't even let her play with a child. A baby boy that is maybe seven
No,
or
let's
eight
say you
years-
trust her. I'm saying let's say
But-
you trust her.
So
Like there's no, like you trust her.
So not only trusting her. No, that's the idea is not trusting her. The idea that she has the character for something like that.
I mean, you trust her because she has the character.
Thank you very much.
So
Yes.
if you trust her with the character, and when I say
Now,
modeling,
if I don't
and
trust her with
just
that
mean-
character, I will tell her, I'll be around you when you do anything like that.
I'm gonna. Okay,
Yes, my
good
role
point.
sh-
You'll be
my
around.
Role, my role should be support for her. Her
That is
one things.
Great, great answer.
I have to be supportive for her.
I'm gonna say something very controversial.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
You are very well known for that.
I mean, okay. When you, let's say you are in the picture with her. Let's
Yeah.
say, okay, or you're around, like you said. Cool. And and a lot of people like they're micro influencers, let's call them, right?
Yeah.
So your wife's getting paid by taking cute pics. Let's not call them hot pics. Let's call them cute pics. محترم يعني. Right? But that's what she's getting paid for. And what do you think? It's like her followers are all women? No, most of her followers are men. That's why they're following her, right?
Yeah.
And what do you think happens, by the way? dudes are DMing her all the time, like, "Hey, babe, look hot." You know what I mean? You cool with that? It's a question only.
Look,
Because there's a difference between having an account where it's like your followers are your friends and people you know, versus it's a business that you're getting paid for. So you need the more followers, the more attention.
I'm gonna say, as a territorial masculine man, okay, that some would call toxically masculine.
You're toxic,
Personally,
misogynistic.
to me, my woman is sacred to me, and in Arabic we say marda alayha. Marda. I don't accept that people objectify her or she models for others, and like basically flaunts herself, her body, all of that to everyone. It's just like, and yeah, I mean, her intention is probably good
Business,
and pure.
yeah, her intention is pure.
But she has to understand she's living in the world, and the world does not see it that way.
She's not in the world. She's living in the wild. It's different.
Yeah, she's.
But can I just say something now? Since she already in her role doing these kind of things,
Yeah.
why do you try to change her?
No, I said
Actually, I
after.
met a
after.
woman.
I said
I met a
after.
woman.
After.
No, I didn't say
women.
before. I said you're now married to this chick, woman. Sorry,
Yeah.
and now she's like, I'm gonna do some modeling on.
Saying chick
Instagram.
is like saying dude.
Yeah.
So you're married to this dude.
You know,
you're married to this chick.
these woke people. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, "Oh, he said chick,
You're married to this-
misogynistic."
married
No,
to
but,
this
but no,
flow.
but seriously, okay.
Yeah.
I can flip this question to
Yeah.
make it more interesting for you, and I'm gonna make this more interesting in 2 seconds.
I'm not interested in 100,000 followers for my wife or my woman and crazy DMs going there. And even though we have trust, it's just
Yeah.
it's something that I just see as it doesn't suit me.
So that's your answer. What's your answer?
I think I know it's okay.
Unless your wife's an Instagram model, and I'm sorry, to bring up the question.
I'm gonna see her rationale behind her decision.
Okay.
Right. So, for example, if her rationale because I'm not able to pay the bills or
No, I just want attention. I want to make money. I want to get attention. Which is what everyone, by the way, guys do the same thing these days.
Yes.
So this is not about women, by the way. Men, women, all of us, we are in an attention economy,
yeah,
right? He who has the most attention has the most currency in today's world. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right? So that would probably be part of the rationale, as you said.
yeah. But for me, I wouldn't trust me. I wouldn't agree really because again, even though I am confident that nothing would go wrong, as he mentioned, I would be jealous to others to see my
Yeah.
things on my wife. This
fair
is
enough.
something
Fair enough.
I have. That's why we are in a relationship, in a marriage relationship, because she's for me and I'm for her.
Because marriage
Wait,
used
wait,
to
wait.
marriage
Would
used
you-
to be
would
holy.
you- would you
I
be-
remember the days
Would
marriage
you
was
be
holy.
cool? Would you be cool if that was your mother?
Of course not.
Of course not.
Yeah.
No
So
way.
what's the difference
way.
between your mother and your child's mother? Okay, and so basically, what I'm saying is, there is intention, and I do also agree with Zaid. Okay, that it depends. Maybe she's like an MP. Okay, and she's dressed
different. That's
very
different.
appropriately.
I'm coming to you with you. I'm coming
That's
to you
different.
more.
That's
You know,
There's more to that.
but to me, it's just like I'm gonna take cute pictures.
an MP in the jacket, suit jacket, muhtaram. Like that's different, bro.
Okay, or in a
No, look at it from another
Giving a
point.
lecture, on
Guys,
fucking
guys,
human
look at
rights.
it,
You know what I mean?
or a professor. Yeah, but she actually has like a real
Respectful.
purpose.
It's respectful and
Guys,
purposeful.
Okay.
I've had that. I've been into.
You've dated Instagram
No,
models.
I'm not. I wasn't dating. I was engaged to someone. I was engaged to someone like that.
Okay.
See,
An MP
Man,
or
you're a baller, huh?
an MP or an Instagram model. Just say both.
Let's say model. The issue wasn't. The issue once you have someone who is a celebrity, you want to have your privacy in your relationship with her. It's not the number of men that emails her or send her messages, or the number of women that is dying to be in her feed. It's not any of that. There is no privacy for the intimacy between us. So if you're willing to let go of that privacy, then there's no problem. She can do whatever she wants. But for me, privacy is too important.
Likewise.
It's not trusting her or not trusting her.
Okay.
It's really the being able to have an intimacy with her without third parties getting involved, girls or guys.
Interesting.
You know, statistically, let's say on like a dating app like Tinder,
Yeah.
right? Only 10% of men get swipes, by the way. 90% go to the chicks, right? Because obviously women are picking higher, right?
That's why you should go on Bumble.
But, okay, I want to make this more interesting for this specific topic. And you guys have to be honest on this. If you follow girls on Instagram, are you following her because, oh my God, she's teaching me about something, or she's just hot?
Well, both.
I'm saying maybe she's not teaching anything. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like
the one who's teaching anything, really, you don't want to follow, because at the end of the
do
day,
you just follow girls because they're hot?
no, not because they're hot, because she has something to offer.
All right.
Some they're also hot, so that adds to the value.
I'm just asking an honest
that's
question.
a comfortable scene, something good to look at. But usually, she has to have some material to present.
What if she's just hot?
Look,
Yeah,
okay,
there's plenty of them like that.
I'll give
Do
you.
you follow them? The reason I was bringing up this question, you can give your honest answer on that.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
But
gonna
basically,
hit it
it
with
was
the truth.
coming back to the point that we do objectify. We do like, okay,
Yes.
she's hot. I'm gonna follow her. Maybe one day she'll send a like back or something.
This is
and
the nature,
whatever, right?
the nature of
That's
man.
just how we are, right? And that's
nature-
why I said it was not okay for me.
This is the nature of a man comparing to a woman.
That's what I'm
Men
saying.
usually more visual.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's be honest.
Women are not.
Yeah, but
they
look,
can go multitask. They go through the hormonal setups. And
Like
maybe-
100%, I follow coaches, trainers, whatever, and not because they're hot. But then you follow some other people because they're hot. And yes, we do objectify. I'm sorry. We do objectify.
Yes.
I don't know the person. It's social media. That's a random person.
okay,
But she's
so,
hot. Maybe one day she'll follow me back. Maybe one day, whatever. You know?
yeah. So it's the whole point is the whatever. So you know what is that whatever? So because the
Marriage.
the
obviously
ends.
it's
No.
not marriage.
The truth is the ends justify the means. I mean,
All right.
I've followed women that I believed were attractive, hot,
Yeah.
you know, beautiful, but I mean, my whatever is different than your whatever is that's different than that.
But you
guy's
might
whatever.
not know that that woman you're following is married because she doesn't say it online. She doesn't show it online.
Yeah.
She's just being, and I'm saying that's why I brought up the previous point.
Yeah, it opens up all these doors. It opens up all, you know. So I get you.
You're inviting trouble.
Yeah, troubles, not even at your doorstep. It's like in your bedroom.
Yeah.
You know
Yes.
what I mean? And not everyone is geared up to, you know, there are usually arguments, fights. Sometimes there's disciplinary measures that spouses take with each other. But now it's like, you got to sleep in the couch for like 3 weeks or something. There's always like a back door, you know? And not just for
That's
men.
why I
now.
always have two bedrooms.
I think
I never sleep on a couch.
But by the way, I think just to clarify to everyone, Instagram, for example, is the dating app.
Facebook is that
It's
too?
not as in what I mean is people think you got to go on Tinder for that. No, you actually go on Instagram for that to connect with real people and have real relationships.
Well, social media.
Social media, but I'm saying, you know, when you go on a dating app, I'm talking about like in the Middle East. now, for example.
Because
in
you
Bahrain,
can
for
do a
example,
quick
no one wants to go on Tinder, right? Because you don't want people, it's a small island, you don't want people to know that, oh, she's single. She wouldn't want to put her picture there. By the way, guys, if you're looking for like marriage, go to Nasibi, please. Download the Nasibi app. Shout out to Nasibi.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, people are curious. They want to know what's out there. And like getting on there and checking it out, it doesn't, I mean, some people would think that it tarnishes their image. But what I think is that it's really how you respond and what are you actually putting out there, you know?
I mean, Tinder is because it has a negative connotation, right?
It does.
Only
but
because it's known as a hookup app.
Yeah, but
That's why. It's just the reputation.
The power of Instagram is because you can do a quick background check.
You can talk to anyone.
Yeah, you can do a quick background check. Like if I gave someone my mobile number, okay, there's still a mystery. Who is this guy? But if I gave her my Instagram, she can like, you know.
But that is the modern world. And I was not talking about single people, by the way. I specifically was talking about your wife, your girlfriend, whatever, your relationship. I was not talking about single people. I don't think there's anything wrong with single people putting themselves out there. They need to meet someone. And you know what? At the end of the day, today's world, no one wants to go say hello, whatever, you know what I mean, in real life, because that's the digital world that we live in. That's the way they communicate. That's the way they meet. And that's cool. And it's up to them what they do. I was not talking about single people. I was saying, would you be okay with your wife, girlfriend, whatever, doing that?
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm going to draw the line between if you want to have like a private profile for your friends, family.
Which a lot of girls do, by the way.
Yeah, it's
in Bahrain
cool,
especially,
but
a lot
when
of girls
you
have
start
private
going
profiles.
Public, you really have to have a real good reason, a real damn good reason to go public.
You want attention.
You know what kind?
Is that not okay?
No. But what do you want attention for? Do you have a message?
No. By the way, the attention is a dopamine thing. It's just a fix, a hit. It's like, okay, it's like this. Why do you dress up when you, let's say, you're wearing a suit now, whatever, right? Why do you dress up like that when you go out? Why do girls wear makeup, for example, when they go out?
Yeah.
They might be like, oh, it's for myself. It's not for yourself. It's to get validation.
Yeah.
From other people that, oh, you are still relevant or interesting or pretty enough or whatever it is. It makes you feel better, like a dopamine in real life.
Yeah.
And the social media version is the likes, the comments, the DMs, the whatever.
Okay, I want to ask a question.
Sure.
What do you guys think of bikinis?
I love them if they're not my wife.
Yeah. So, are you cool with your wife?
No.
Going out on the beach?
No. Oh, that's a good question.
In underwear.
A bikini.
For
bikini.
Yeah,
Let's call it
it's
underwear.
underwear.
Let's call it
Come
bikini.
on. Okay.
What's the difference between a bikini and lingerie?
Isn't
Price.
a bikini
The texture
to me
shows the same thing. It's just different texture.
Look, it's definition. They're defining these things.
Defining. Thank you.
Okay, and they're giving them meaning, to give them like you know, to make sense out of them, you know. So in my opinion,
I find that amazingly like the best brainwashing in the world. If this is the material, then it's a bikini. If this is a material, it's underwear. But it shows exactly the same thing.
Exactly.
And you can brainwash people to believe anything.
That's the crazy
It's
part.
the same concept here. When you go, what is a brand? Why would you pay more than 2,000 dinars for a bag of whatever brand, and for the same material, it will cost you about 15 to 20 pounds?
Because I can make you believe it's something different that's worth more. The
As-
feeling you get.
As the head of Chamber of Commerce in France mentioned once, brands were created to take the poor people's money out.
Rich people don't buy brands.
Rich people don't go for brands. They don't need to be categorized.
Yeah.
They don't need the category of a brand. Oh, I'm wearing something expensive. They don't need that. They're not interested.
You know,
They will go for quality.
they'll go for
That's it.
quality. And it's like, I don't want to wear. If I have the option, I'd rather get something tailor made that's just for me,
Yeah.
unique. No one has it. It's actually mine.
Bespoke.
Okay, and that's better than wearing a Gucci shirt that everyone wears, or no offense to Gucci, you do great stuff, but
But offense to Balenciaga.
yeah.
We're gonna add offense to that. Are we gonna talk about that?
Wait, is that the child?
Yes.
thing? Oh, dude.
They got rid of Kanye West because of his recent talks, and then they do this Satan worshipping children pedophile ads,
Yeah.
and people still wear these $2,000 T-shirts. You must be stupid.
Yeah. Look, we are boycotting Balenciaga right now. After that, until they give out,
Boycott? No, there is no and.
there is no end, right?
By the way, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta say this.
Sorry.
I gotta say this about Balenciaga, right? It wasn't the fact that the child was wearing, like, had this kinky, weird dominatrix teddy bear. That wasn't the interesting part. Did you know that? Do you know what was more interesting? If you look at the background of the child, there's books on a shelf, and people dove into that, and they started seeing which books were there, all written by pedophiles. Now tell me it's a coincidence. All the authors, pedophiles. Known pedophiles. That's Satanism to the next level.
Wow, that's so deep.
That is super deep. No, I'm telling you, the internet is a crazy place. You know, like, you can't get away with anything.
Yeah, but even if you got away, that's one of the methods would you distribute
Satanism.
Satanism
Yeah.
or
This is the Matrix.
something
Satanism.
to program other
That's
people
it.
with it.
Subliminal messages.
Subliminal messages.
Subliminal messaging,
You know,
Satanism, Illuminati,
and-
pedophiles.
and they want to see the comments, and okay, they got the backlash. I just want to say, for the non-Muslim viewers and the Muslim viewers, Alhamdulillah, الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. Thank God that we have a very structured and clear vision of what life is, and we know the right from the wrong, and we know our nature, and we're not sitting there confused are we men, are we women, what are all the other names, man?
There's like non-binary, binary, whatever.
Whatever. Life is supposed to be simple, and I want to hit on this point before this podcast ends, that we're after unity and not separation. Okay? And all of these different movements, Black Lives Matter, like all other lives don't matter. Okay? We are all one family under the sky. Okay, as Master
lives,
Bruce Lee says.
Children of Adam and Eve.
Yeah, and it's all about unity. So when you pit the woman against the man, you guys got to compete. No, you're supposed to complete. You know.
I like that. Complete, don't compete.
Yeah, that's how Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. That's how God puts it in the Quran. That we are there as a completion for each other. And we're supposed to support each other. وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. We have created you as tribes and communities so you can get to know one another and do good amongst each other, And the best of you are those that promote the good and forbid the evil.